Hello, I'm Doug Crawford with the Navy League of the United States Board of Directors and also with the Santa Barbara Navy League Council. And I'm here at the Jewel of the Pacific, the Santa Barbara Yacht Club, with the Santa Barbara Council President, Karen Crawford. And we're here to introduce you to the 2006 Year in Review. And Karen, you had a very busy year in 2006. What is the audience going to see?
Doug, we're going to be seeing video clips from our annual meeting which capture the events and activities from 2006.
Well, we look forward to hearing and seeing that and then coming back with the audience to tell them a little bit more about what happened in 2006 a little later.
It is great to see so many familiar faces this evening. As you know, the Navy League is a nonprofit civilian organization which supports the sea services, the Marines, the Coast Guard, the Merchant Marines, and the Navy. Our goals are to support the men and women and their families, to support youth programs, and to inform the public of the needs of our maritime nation. In less than 5 minutes, it's my plan to give you an overview of our 2006 that we have accomplished this year in regard to these goals. The Santa Barbara Navy League is one of the largest and most active nonprofit organizations in Santa Barbara. The energy expended by this board is significant. We have monthly board, executive board, finance meetings, and standing committee meetings. We've invested in our infrastructure to provide more efficient and better support of our mission and goals with a new office, communication systems, and a full-time administrator. We strengthened our board in 2006 by adding 6 new board members who are professional and community leaders. We have a strong leadership in our executive team, and there are 4 national directors who are members of the Santa Barbara Navy League. We received the 2004 and 2005 Outstanding Council Awards, and the 2006 awards will be announced late in spring. We have expanded our communications efforts between our membership, the public, and the sea services through a quarterly newsletter, email blasts, and through Santa Barbara Navy League TV, which is Channel 17. In 2006, we hosted 24 events, where the purpose has been to honor our servicemen and women. And tonight, it is our honor that we are beginning this year, 2007, with Admiral Jody Breckenridge graciously coming to Santa Barbara to speak to us. So thank you so much. Her speaking provides something that's very essential. It's the information link between the public and the needs of the sea service.
It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here in Santa Barbara this evening addressing your council. When we come into the Navy League, we know that we are always amongst friends. And I'm so pleased that the Coast Guard is able to have Coast Guard members experience this wonderful, wonderful community, both to work here and to live here. Listening to Karen speak, I think when she ran through the calendar, I thought I had a busy schedule. I thought I wore a lot of hats as a mom and a working professional, but I'm awed by the commitment of the members of your council and the very robust support that you provide to all of the sea services. So thank you, and thank you for affording me this opportunity to address you this evening.
In February, our members traveled to El Centro to see the Blue Angels. If you are interested in this year's trip, you should make your reservations for the February 23rd, 24th event to the Blue Angels.
Thank you very much, but we will get us back to the Blue Angels for their MWR fund.
In March and July, Rear Admiral Lynn Herring spoke in Santa Barbara, resulting in our council working to address the education issues of veterans at the UC, state, and city college systems.
I'm amazed that when I come around, fly around to different places, I end up going to places and I see dedicated folks who understand what the Navy League's all about and find a way somehow to support our young men and women in uniform. And it's a real privilege to be amongst you all. I will tell you that I had an opportunity to drop an email with the current CEO of Ronnie Reagan. He asked me to make sure that you knew that they're doing well. Looking forward to their homecoming. It's warm where they are. They're not for want of any kind of good weather. They have plenty of it. But he also said to send his respects because you folks have made a certain impression on their crew, and they look forward to continuing that relationship.
Our council helped launch the Navy League Hiring Center, the job matching system for our retiring military, veterans, and their families. In June, we toured Vandenberg Air Force Base with luncheon and a debrief by the CO.
When you came in the front gate, that is the most fortified piece of concrete in the face of the earth. That was the same gate that all the tanks came through in 1940, 1941. Vandenberg has a history. The same history that started is the same things we do today. The first spy satellite that the government launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base, that was called the Corona program. I will tell you that about 5 years ago that was still classified. But now we can talk about the Corona program. The other thing is ICBM testing. Developing the Thor, well that was in medium range, but the Atlas and the Titan and the Minuteman programs were all done at Vandenberg, and that's still a heritage that goes through for this day.
The Santa Barbara Navy League is a sponsor for Navy Days LA, and our members visited the USS Bunker Hill, the USS McCluskey, and the USS Los Angeles.
We're here aboard the USS Los Angeles attack submarine in San Pedro, California. The Santa Barbara Navy League is here, and we are being hosted by Captain Burian, who's going to be our tour guide today.
This is the control room. This is where we fight the ship from. When we call away battle stations, everyone rushes into this space, the designated people.
The Los Angeles Lakers welcome the crew of the USF Los Angeles to tonight's game.
Our members traveled to the Reagan Presidential Library to hear Deputy Secretary of Defense Ryan Henry.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man of great accomplishment in defense of our country, the Principal Deputy Undersecretary of Defense Ryan Henry.
President Reagan believed firmly in peace through strength. He understood that by having by far the most capable armed forces in the world was the best guarantee that they would never have to be used. The same is true today. Our brave men and women in uniform are the best in the world.
We went to San Diego to greet the USS Ronald Reagan following its maiden deployment to the Middle East. We met aboard the Reagan for a debrief of the August 2005 visit to Santa Barbara, the last ship visit to our shoreline. The Santa Barbara Navy League contributed to the Reagan's MWR Christmas Fund, and we provided their quarterly awards. In September, our members traveled to San Diego for a lunch and debrief by the CO and Rear Admiral Miller. We were on board the Reagan as well.
Your support of these young men and women, and we are surrounded by it. If you're in my cabin, you sit on furnishings that you all have provided. The flat screen panels here are the envy of the fleet. There is no ship in the Navy that has a closer affiliation with a particular unit of the Navy League than the Ronald Reagan and the Santa Barbara Navy League. So we are the beneficiaries of your gracious hospitality, of your overwhelming generosity, and the sailors here know it and they appreciate it. I too am humbled to be in your presence. But I am certainly the lesser of the many great people who stand in this long blue line that will continue to support and defend our nation and the principles that we believe in for years to come.
We have 400 people in our reactor department, very highly trained, and I actually train with them about every other day to make sure that we keep the same high standards of safety.
We funded our adopted Sea Cadet unit, Airpac Squadron. An Airpac Squadron was commissioned in August, which is just a major milestone for a 2-year-old unit, boosting the presence of a leadership and character-building program in Santa Barbara.
Hi, I'm Petty Officer Rodmacher, and I'm here because my friend recruited me. It's a really great program because it gives you a good chance with the military.
I'm here because I just wanted to learn how to be responsible.
I came here because I thought it would be a lot of fun, and A lot of people have told me about it. I joined just to get some experience and to gain an extra rank in the Marine Corps when I do join.
I joined because it would be a great program to help prepare me for the Navy.
Learning services, being able to tie knots, be able to serve people, being able to take care of them. Are these all the things that you gentlemen like doing?
Yes, sir.
I am Petty Officer Masters Melton, second class, newly appointed.
Well, and what's the purpose of the coveralls versus what everyone else is wearing?
Okay, well, our coveralls kind of signify our leadership that we have here at the unit. Currently, we have 2 petty officers, myself and our leading petty officer, who wear these uniforms, and they are to be used for our training that we hold here at our home unit.
Oh, very good. Well, I'd like everyone in Santa Barbara to share the good news. We've just received confirmation that Kelly has received an appointment to the Annapolis, the Academy, and tell us a little bit about how you got that and what that means to you.
Okay, well, I was informed a couple weeks ago that, in fact, I have been accepted to the United States Naval Academy Preparatory School in Newport, Rhode Island, and following that training for 10 months, I would then be able to move on to the United States Naval Academy.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And any other acceptances that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, actually, in fact, I was also accepted to the California Maritime Academy, located near San Francisco, California. And for both of these acceptances, I've really been blessed, and also I found that Sea Cadets, the program here that we have in Santa Barbara, has really allowed me to experience many different things that I never would have seen before, and really get a feel for the program, and if the Navy and the military possibly be an alternative and an option for me.
Well, we'd like to congratulate you and thank you for your hard work and leadership. Another Santa Barbara success story.
No Sea Cadet unit exists without the support and nurturing of a sponsoring organization. In April 2004, AirPac Squadron was launched under the sponsorship of the Santa Barbara Council of the U.S. Navy League. In no uncertain terms, it is only through the continued and unwavering support of the Santa Barbara Navy League that AirPac is able to undertake the training and travel activities which provide the priceless experience to our cadets. Here with us today is the President of Santa Barbara Council of the U.S. Navy League, Ms. Karen Crawford.
Congratulations to the members of AirPac Squadron, to their leadership, and to their commanding officer, Lieutenant Chuck Esky. We're so proud of you. The Santa Barbara Navy League and its board of directors are proud to be the sponsor of AirPac Squadron. And we are committed to the support and providing significant contributions to AirPac Squadron. This year, beyond funding, we have implemented Santa Barbara Navy League TV on Channel 17 under the direction of Cliff Baldridge, which has allowed us to chronicle AirPac Squadron's events and accomplishments. And it has facilitated our ability to tell everyone on the Central Coast all about AirPac Squadron and the importance of a powerful youth program in our community. Also, AirPac Squadron's episodes can be seen on videogoogle.com, which expands our viewer base to all over California and the nation. Growth is important to any organization with a mission to encourage and aid American youth to develop, to train them in seagoing skills, to teach them patriotism, to teach them courage, self-reliance, and the kindred virtues. To this end, the Santa Barbara Navy League will be initiating a new committee to support growth, chaired by Mr. Ed Carr, who is on the Navy League Board of Directors and an AirPac Squadron leader. Santa Barbara Police Captain Ed Zeller is the Executive Director of PAL, the Police Activities League, and he will be on this committee with a representative of United Boys and Girls Club and one additional Navy League board member. The future of Airpac Squadron is bright and promising because of the foundation that it has been built upon. We were hosted by the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Blackfin for a day cruise. The Santa Barbara Navy League provided trail bikes and kayaks to our adopted Coast Guard units. We hosted the Christmas party and provided quarterly awards for U.S. Coast Guard, Marine Safety Detachment, and cutter Blackfin.
We're here at the Santa Barbara Yacht Club and very pleased to be here with the CO of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Blackfin, Lieutenant Josh Empen. Welcome.
Nice to see you again, sir.
Well, it's very good to have you here and in our community, and obviously the Blackfin is a vessel that we see has a high profile here in our harbor, and be interested in understanding what it is your unit does and the size of your unit. Give us some information.
The Blackfin's an 87-foot ship. We operate from Dana Point all the way up to Morro Bay. Got a crew of 12 guys, one of the best crews I've ever worked with in the Coast Guard. I'm pretty fortunate here in Santa Barbara with this ship and this crew.
Is that because the Santa Barbara area gets the best and the brightest to come to it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it, and then we also have the Navy League here that really looks out for us.
Visiting our adopted units on board and visiting our other U.S. Navy and U.S. Coast Guard ships are essential in providing you and the public with one-on-one communication and appreciation of the men and women of the Navy and Coast Guard, allowing a glimpse of the work which protects us all. In October, we kicked off Salute the Troops campaign at a 3-day Carpinteria of Avocado Festival and a 1-day Santa Barbara Harbor Seafood Festival. We addressed more than 100,000 people, and we received thousands of postcards, which will be sent overseas to our troops in CRAT packages through Operation Interdependence.
We're talking about Salute the Troops, and is there anything you'd like to say to our troops overseas right now? What's your name?
I'm Victoria, and I wanted to say thank you, and we really appreciate your dedication to the helping fight in the war.
Wonderful. And how about you?
My name's Muriel, and I wanted to say thank you for just helping our country, and we're always thinking of you.
Wonderful.
My name is Amanda, and I just want to say thank you and be careful.
Very careful.
Hi, my name is Megan. I want to say thank you for all your dedication, and we really appreciate it.
I see that you're also holding some brochures here. They look like Sea Cadet brochures. Is there something about the Sea Cadets that might be of interest to you?
Well, you get to go on, you get to visit the aircraft carriers and have a lot of fun.
We're going to complete postcards. They're going to write postcards to those people. We're going to put them in 5,000 care packages that we send overseas every month. And we're going to put them in this box and then put them in the care packages. We'd like to thank all of our volunteers here today and everyone in our community for the Salute the Troops program and for the Santa Barbara Navy League, one of the greatest councils in the world.
Hosting the U.S. Navy Country Current Band with the generous support of the Wood Claessens Foundation gave the public and our membership the opportunity to see exceptional musicians, attend a wonderful concert, and to learn about the mission and goals of the Navy and the Navy League.
Oh, you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam.
In November, we were honored to host Admiral John Nathman, who spoke at UCSB and the Channel City Club.
First of all, I want to thank the Navy League of Santa Barbara and the Channel City Club for the kind invitation. It's been a great visit for me. It's a chance to deliver and discuss the Navy and the importance of the Navy. This particular Navy League has been very active, and in a way I want to acknowledge what this Navy League has done by coming here, because they've done so much and they deserve to be supported. So I'm very proud of the men and women of the Navy League and what you do as volunteers to get the Navy message out.
Our council co-hosted the military ball with the Pierre Claessens Veterans Museum and Library to honor our veterans and our active duty men and women.
Navy League is a civilian, non-partisan, non-profit organization dedicated to the support of the men and women of the sea services and their families, and also to the education of the citizens and our elected officials about the importance of sea power to not only our national economy, but also our nation's security. Our local Santa Barbara chapter is also local Coast Guard units here, the Blackfin Cutter and also our Marine Safety Detachment. We're also working with Operation Homefront and Operation Interdependence to communicate with our soldiers and sailors on the front lines. And tonight you have a very special opportunity to do just that.
We are in Santa Barbara, California for the Military Ball 2006, and we are very honored to have our guest of honor here, General P.X. Kelly. Sir, can you tell us what the Military Ball and coming to Santa Barbara means to someone who's been around the world and done it all?
One of the main reasons was to honor the greatest generation, of which, believe it or not, I was a young junior member of the greatest generation, and who also, my father died in World War II, and I also was in charge of building the World War II memorial. So to me, it's a triple hitter tonight, and I'm so glad to be here.
2007 promises to be just as busy as we work to fund similar events and activities, creating standing committees for the USS Ronald Reagan and Operation Interdependence. We are hopeful of bringing some ships to Santa Barbara, which is so essential in our ability to educate the public, to enrich youth programs, to honor the crew and their families, and to offer a little R&R. We will be expanding our board in 2007 to achieve our council's goals. I want to thank you for coming. Please continue to help us help the men and women of the Sea Services, their families, and youth in our community. Your time, your gifts, your support of our nation's finest sons and daughters are all greatly appreciated. It is so important to support the men and women who are protecting our freedoms and our way of life. Thank you.
Well, 2006 was a busy year, and as if all of that wasn't enough, there were several other events, weren't there, Karen, that we had?
The first one that comes to mind is in February. We had a Fair Winds and Following Seas party to salute and thank Connie Lose for her past presidency for 7 years. It was a wonderful get-together of all the partners in Santa Barbara and Santa Barbara County who helped us in the years that Connie was president.
When we talk about all of this, and all of this is coming to a culmination, Connie has always taken leadership and responsibility and surrounding herself with incredible people to heart, and that is what has made the Santa Barbara Navy League what it is today. One of the most noticeable projects that the Santa Barbara Navy League gets involved in is the State Street flags. Every year in the spring you'll see 100 or so flags flying, and we also salute the troops, where we get involved with schools and other organizations to get cards completed, wishing our troops well and getting those sent off to them as part of Operation Interdependence. That is a very important project and really high visibility for the men and women of the Sea Services. One of the very important things that happened here in Santa Barbara was when the Santa Barbara School District decided to cancel the JROTC program. And it was sort of the last soldier standing, if you will, in Santa Barbara as far as teaching children and young people about service life and what it means to serve our country. So we worked up a program with our Sea Cadets, didn't we? And the effort was to get the Sea Cadets involved in talking with the schools. And how did that go?
It went really well. There was a luncheon meeting at Santa Barbara High School where I believe you were present, as well as a few of other board members to represent the best for our students in Santa Barbara at high school level.
Yes, we met with the superintendent of schools and the principal of the high school, and the principal of the high school actually came to the annual meeting following that. We believe that we took a good step forward in building a bridge between that program and the wonderful AirPac Squadron, supported by which is called AirPac and supported by the Santa Barbara Council of the Navy League. Subsequent to that, I had the honor of traveling to Washington, D.C. for the annual Sea Air Space Conference that's held in Washington every year. It is the largest conference of its kind in the world, having to do with sea services, where we met with the admirals and all of the distinguished leaders in our government, as well as with servicemen and women. And we represented the Santa Barbara Council there very, very well as well. That introduction was something that's called the Navy League Hiring Center, which is a program that the Navy League is supporting. Santa Barbara Council is very active in, and that's to help men and women transitioning from the sea services be hired by the companies that want to hire them.
It's so important to support our veterans.
So if you have positions in your companies and you're looking to hire, please go to NavyLeague.info. That's www.NavyLeague.info to post your open positions. Another important program that the Navy League of the United States has, and it's very active here at the Santa Barbara Council, is the Speakers Bureau.
It is an important facet of our work at Santa Barbara. We had the opportunity to go speak at the Lions Club in Santa Barbara and tell them about the mission and goals of Navy League national level, as well as what we do in Santa Barbara.
One of the national programs that we've implemented here as well is the admirals having come to Santa Barbara and to the local councils and speaking to the population about what's going on in the Navy.
That's true, and we've been very fortunate to have 3 different admirals come to Santa Barbara. Admiral Herring I mentioned in the annual report, but I didn't mention that Admiral Miller came and spoke to us, and our board received him and had an excellent conversation with him.
And Admiral Miller is the 3rd Fleet Admiral in charge of the fleet of our adopted ship, the USS Ronald Reagan.
And then we had the true honor of our 4-star Admiral John Nathman coming from Virginia to speak both at UCSB and the Channel City Club. We followed that with a reception at a private home for our sponsors. It was an outstanding set of speeches that Admiral Nathman gave.
And so again, if you're interested in attending these kind of events, we have them on a regular basis, and you can see them on our website, and we will also be advertising them on television and the radio. But last year's Admiral speeches covered everything from education to the career opportunities for service people, to the 1,000-ship Navy, which is the Navy that involves all of our allies around the world, and Admiral Nathman coming to speak about the readiness of our Navy. If you go to Google Video and then do a search on Navy League, you'll actually be able to see about 15 episodes that were done last year, directed and co-produced by Cliff Baldridge, who is one of our local talents and a very, very key contributor to the extensive programming that we've been doing on television and on worldwide video on Google. So it was a busy year, 2006, and we look forward to a really exciting 2007.
Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Schlesinger, my kid's mom, proud mother of an American soldier, hooah, and you're watching Santa Barbara Navy League Television.
What do you think that had to do with your success and who you are as an American today?
In a word?
In a word.
Everything.